Paul, KUNGFUMASTER PANDA is a horse that's been in super form for you recently. He turns up at the Valley once again, and you're pleased with him coming into Wednesday night?
Yeah, he's done well, between races. He's got a little bit of a wider draw. He came off very low draws his last two starts and raced well, so he's probably not going to see as much of the fence as what he has in his last two, but no reason why he shouldn't race well.
His form has really turned a bit of a corner, Paul, since you've dropped him down to 16.50. What was the thinking behind that? I mean, prior to that, it shown some good mile-and-a-quarter form for you.
Yeah, I ran him 2,200 3 starts ago, and he got a good run on the race. Just looked like he just didn't get the trip. So I think his 2,000 metre form, was in Class 4, right. So, but anyway, he's come back to 16.50 and it seems to be enjoying it.
And he seems to have struck up a good relationship with his rider as well. He's only ridden him a couple of times now, and that's a win and a placing.
Yes, he handles the horse very well.
And on his mark, obviously, he's sort of run competitively off 51. He's around about that mark on Wednesday night. You feel that he's still off a competitive mark to go close again?
I think he's at the top of his ratings for sure. He sort of struggled in Class 4, and he looked like a very good Class 5 horse, and surprised me when he was gone on 1-2 in Class 4, but he's probably rated right up to his best now.
And just on the form of your horses recently, they've been ticking over quite nicely. Another winner recently, so things are going good?
Yeah, no, things are starting to pick up. I don't know if the horses are coming right or the handicap has done me a favour. It might be a little bit of both, but last 3 or 4 meetings they've all raced pretty well.
I'm sure the trainer's doing a super job as well.
He's trying hard.
Blake Charming Steed is a horse that you'll get on once again Wednesday night. He's run well in all 3 starts this season.
He has, yeah. He's a consistent horse. I think he's done everything right in all 3 runs, knocking on the door for a win, so let's hope he can get it tomorrow night.
You had trialled him before you rode him last time. What positives could you take from that run? I mean, he was beaten by an in-form horse, but it was a very good run.
100%, yeah. Look, he was beaten by a horse that sort of had an advantage in that class, but I thought my horse ran really well. He's got tactical speed, he puts himself in a good position, and he quickens up a little bit. Got held up a touch around the bend, but wouldn't have changed the result. Might have finished a length closer, and tomorrow night I think he gets another good opportunity to win.
Just assessing the race, he looks like a horse obviously most definitely going in the right direction. I mean, it certainly looks winnable, doesn't it?
It looks a winnable race, yeah. It's just quite a common Class 4 race at Happy Valley, and I think the horse with the right run will win the race, and I think my horse should present well to put himself in the right position.
And just on yourself, Blake, you've had to sit out the last couple of meetings. Great to be back, I'm sure, and there's quite a bit building up towards the end of the month as well.
Yeah, sure. It's been a bit of a frustrating time, with myself riding and getting some suspensions, but I've just had to use the time wisely and get myself prepared to come back bigger and better, and I feel in a great spot mentally and physically, and got some big rides, like you say, coming up, so I can't wait to get back in the saddle tomorrow night.
And I imagine horses like Skyfield certainly do keep you going through those quieter spells. He's an exciting horse still.
Yeah, we've got Skyfield, he's going great. Fantastic Treasure heading towards a Classic Mile, and Russian Emperor. So there's plenty of ammunition there, and plenty to keep me enthusiastic about coming back.
Zach Beauty Joy will line up for the 3rd time this season, this time at Happy Valley. You're back on board, and he's a decent type of horse, isn't he?
Yeah, both his runs this season have been good. He's been to the Valley for a trial previously, so he's somewhat familiar with the course, and he's drawn a nice gate, so hopefully he can just find himself in the right spot and give us a nice run.
On that trial at the Valley, it was a fair way ago now, I think it was December of 2020, did he always give you the impression that sort of track would suit him?
He's a lightly framed horse, and quite often those horses can get around the tight track quite well. But he was quite adaptable overseas before he came here, and he's been able to adapt to wherever he's gone here as well. So I don't see the track being a problem for him.
Just on the headgear he wears now, in that trial he didn't sport a hood or a tongue tie. He's been wearing it this season, and he seems to have really elevated his form. Has that made a big difference in your mind?
Possibly. Obviously he changed stables. He was lightly raced when he first came here, and then he changed stables, so Tony's obviously been tinkering with the gear a little bit, and he seems to think that that's what the horse needs, so that's why it's on there.
Just on his running style, I mean, he has been obviously going forward. There's a little bit of tempo in the race. Is he a horse that necessarily has to lead?
I don't think he has to. I rode him in a trial and sat behind, so he can adapt, yeah.
And just obviously looking ahead, obviously we've got the 4-year-old series coming up. That's seemingly heating up quite nicely, and quite a bit to look forward to there.
Yeah, of course. I think it's a strong year this year. There are a number of chances from a number of different stables as well. It's competitive, and the melting pot's all sort of coming together at the right time. So we'll know more obviously after the Classic Mile heading towards the Derby, but it's an exciting year, I think.
And on your mount, packing Victory, have you had a chance to have a sit on him recently?
Yeah, I worked him at the end of last week, and he's working well. He's come through his last run really good. He's striding out well, so he just continues to do what he needs to do. He seems to be getting stronger all the time, and hopefully he continues to progress the right way.
Frankie, you've got EASON turning up at Happy Valley on Wednesday night. He was pretty good when winning last time.
Yes, he won really good. And now he's go up to class 3 and the lightweight. So I tried to put him in Happy Valley to see, but unfortunately he got draw 11.
He's always shown a good attitude. He did last time. Has he been a very sort of easy horse to come to hand? I mean, he only had, I think, 3 trials, and now he's run 2 very good races.
Yeah, I think he's really easy to ride, and then he's got some gate speed. So depends by tomorrow night. In front one is better, or he can behind. So I think maybe we can have a look first 2 races. If the pace is good, I think maybe we'll put him in front. Yeah.
And has he always struck you like a horse that could handle Happy Valley? He looks like an easy horse to sort of place during the race.
Yeah, he looks easy. So I don't think he cannot handle the track. I think it should be okay for him.
And Matthew Poon rides, obviously, as you mentioned, a lightweight. That's going to be a big help as well. Matthew's riding well at the moment.
Yeah. He came 2 rounds, good for the young horse, and then lightweight. Yeah.
And just on this morning, we saw Farfar go round in batch number 2. Were you happy with him? He looked to be doing his best work late.
Yeah. I just bring him back to from Chongfa and let Alex ride him for the trial, so he will know the horse more after the trial. He tell me the form's good.
And obviously he's got an entry in both the Classic Mile and the BMW Hong Kong Derby. He's still very much on course for those races, and you're happy with him going into those?
Yes, for me, his good form, distance, no problem for him, sure. And only the track, we don't know yet. So before the first 3 races in Sha Tin, and then after these 3 races, I sent him to Happy Valley, win few races for me. But I think he still can handle the track in Sha Tin, no problem, I think.
So, and obviously no concern, as you say, with Sha Tin. You're pretty confident he will handle the track there?
Of course, I think because the 3rd race he raced in here, 1400.
Yeah.
The last quarter he finished good, so I think he can handle the track.